Welcome to the King Talk Podcast. It's your boy Jay Will.
It's Rollo. How y'all doing? Hope y'all doing good. We got two beautiful queens with us today. How y'all doing? Hope y'all doing good. Excuse me as I go to introduce. Lovely. We got one that, she's leaving us soon. She graduated early, ain't that right, sis?
Yes, it is.
Miss Lovely MK. We got a good friend here. High talent. Miss Deja Sharice, how you doing, sis? Then you just got us two niggas that just sit here trying to you know what I'm saying? But we got a good thing in store for y'all this one, we got a lot of good feedback from the first one, so we working, we trying to make it right. Excuse me if I'm drowsy, I just got off the flight. That was like, they say it was like 3 hours for the release. I'm tired.
Catch place, not feelings, people. Period. Wow.
So we got going on.
Let's jump into some topics, man.
Alright.
You spitting too, so watch yourself.
I ain't spitting, that was you.
I'm sorry.
I know you wanted to talk about the whole T.I. and Tiny situation. Why don't we start with that?
It was just a segment that he did on Red Table Talk. So T.I. and Tiny was on Jada Pinkett Smith Red Table Talk, which you can watch on Facebook. And they talked about a couple of things, but one of the things that really stood out was a man being too controlling over a woman. And Tiny and her feelings on why they broke up, why they divorced or was because, T.I. stepped out on their marriage. And Tiny felt like the reason that he did that was, or one of the reasons why he did it was because he is used to a woman that's timid, that, when he speaks or say does this or do that, she does it. And Tanya is a very outspoken woman. And so she said that she processed it. She basically felt like that's why he did it. And my thing is, probably tell me something about men be controlling. I don't think men are that controlling.
It can depend. I think it can. I just think for a relationship to work, it takes a special type of man and a special type of woman to get it working. And like Tanya said, she felt like once she was getting herself together and finding her voice and becoming her own person, that's when she was coming out of T.I.'s shadow, because Tiny was Tiny before T.I.
Of course.
This was an escape.
The bag was big.
Yeah, so it was, I guess, somewhere in, them starting their family and their marriage, she began to lose herself. But as she was getting older and finding herself, she was beginning to change, and he might have not liked that change. But some men can be controlling, especially when money is a factor and all of that. If you let a man buy you everything, he holds the power, because you're going to have to keep him happy for him to continue to give. It's not that he gives out of the kindness of his heart, it's because you're doing this, so I'll give you money.
How do you feel, Mr. Dorsey?
I definitely think men become like what's the word I'm looking for? Intimidated.
Oh.
Men become intimidated by a strong black woman, like, because sis had her own self together. Like, she was an escape. She had her own bag. She made her own name. But it's like once T.I., like, she married T.I. Now it was T.I. and Tiny. It was never just, oh, Tiny could do this, she could do that. And then I feel like T.I., he was just like, well, look, I'm just gonna keep that spotlight on me. Forget what you gotta say. Forget what you want to do. It's all me. But even like back in the day, like, he was getting in all that trouble with his guns and stuff. You never really seen how Tiny felt about it. She was always like, she was just there. But I don't think he wanted that.
So that makes sure she held him down while he was on.
Yeah, she did. But
Held it down.
But men definitely feel intimidated by a strong black woman who can hold her own.
And another thing on the T.I., he really lost me on their show when it was supposed to be over, but now they came back with T.I. and Tiny and Friends.
Yeah.
But before, when they were at that dinner and she was like, "You're cheating," and he said, "Well, were you at odds with her?" Oh, sir, what did that mean? They were at dinner, and
It was
he
the last
bringing
episode,
up. Who was he bringing up? Floyd Mayweather. He
Yeah.
was bringing up somebody, and she was bringing up Burgess or whatever her name is.
Oh
The
yeah.
model. So they talking about who each other was cheating with, and he asked her, "Well, were you at odds with her? Like that made if she wasn't at odds with her, that made you okay to cheat on her?" I didn't understand. So that's when I began not to like T.I. and then this whole new situation with the daughter, which is why they even went on the Red Table Talk. But I don't know. He comes off very woke on social media when it comes to civil rights, but maybe just the way he treats women, which is the way you have to do with other artists as well. Their music and what they do aside from who they are as a person. Yeah. So that might be what it's coming to.
Kind of separate the man from the artist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's that. I ain't know OG was like that.
Yeah, that was a bold line. That was a bold line that he said.
I mean, but it's if you was that comfortable to say it, maybe it's something different. There's a lot of swinging that go on in relationships.
That's true.
And
That's true.
a lot of women settle for certain things, in terms of side pieces and things.
I just want to say, cause like we don't know what we don't know like what their relationship was prior. Like she could have said let's add a third person to a relationship or let's do that, because once you add that in, they gonna always think that shit is okay with or without you. So we don't know what their relationship was prior to all of this. That they did that back in the day. But like you said, a lot of swinging going on. That happens in a lot of hip hop relationships nowadays.
High profile.
Man,
Yeah.
but too, even in regular relationships that happens.
Yeah.
So,
People was out here getting it how they live.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some females they do the ones who do the choosing.
It was.
But that could be for her comfort, not him going. Okay, I can take him being with this one because I chose her, not you present another woman to me.
But still, sis,
that's too different. I would feel two different ways.
If you did it and I'm still hitting it, what you mad for?
I mean, that wouldn't work for me.
So
I'm not doing that. But maybe some people, if she chooses, she can feel better if they compromise on that versus him bringing me someone.
Yeah.
But from the outside looking in, if I chose, that would make me feel better than you present somebody to me. But in my relationships, that's not a go.
But I mean, I feel like if he was to bring somebody to me, it would make me feel like you already been talking to her, you already been having a conversation with her, you already were trying to get with her. I feel like if we pick somebody together, well, I pick her, it's like it was a mutual decision. But you come to me with somebody, it's like.
Hold on, wait a minute. But if you pick her, I'm supposed to be okay with that?
Yeah.
Nah.
I don't know, but like you
How
said,
you gonna go find her, James? How you gonna find her?
No,
What do you
that's
like?
what I'm saying.
That's what you're saying.
So I represent somebody.
no, okay.
No, she said the woman don't pick it. It's cool.
But
Yeah.
if they do it, it's not cool.
Because you're presenting another woman to a woman.
her.
Yeah, if I went and picked another dude to you would feel like
No,
what?
I
That's the same thing.
See, that's the problem today. See how she
Whatever.
If we all good, we all good. If not, we not.
Well, I'm not.
It's not working.
So no for me.
If a woman can present somebody to a relationship, the man should be able to do so as well.
Okay, the woman presents a woman. The man, you go find a man, and we do it that way.
I mean, I wouldn't do that, but I see your point. I see your point.
So
I
you would be fine. You would be fine presenting a woman, and your girl presents a guy. You would be fine with that. You wouldn't feel like about her picking a guy.
That's different.
How? You making no
That's
sense.
different.
You're making no sense.
I'm not about to sit here and fondle with no man shit. What you talking
You're
about?
not fumbling with him.
Well, I'm
He here for my pleasure, not
Let
yours.
me tell you something. If I ain't get no train run on nothing, I don't understand. That's not sexy. That's disrespectful.
But why is it called a train when it's two men and a woman, but a threesome when it's two girls? What's the difference?
Shoot.
But what's the difference though.
It's
Still,
more aggressive. It's
It's
more.
not.
It's like and I'm speaking from a niggerish standpoint.
Oh.
It's more. We about to fuck her up.
But me and her could be like, we about to fuck him up, we about to choke him, we about to do all this shit. It's the same thing.
No, it ain't. Just the stress is different.
What? Okay.
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 It's different. Why you looking at me? It's different.
It's
Okay.
not.
But I understand what y'all saying.
What?
You know, a spade is a spade. I do. I understand what y'all saying. No, a spade is a spade. But I ain't about to.
But the only threesome you're doing is 2 women and you.
If the Almighty says all right that day come, yes.
Okay, but you would want your girl to give you that, but you wouldn't give your girl 2 men.
No.
And just her.
No, because where I'm from, like girls who did that or allowed that, they was runs, and that shit just looked down
Runs
upon,
that,
like runs like a thigh about skeezer.
Oh.
That's easy.
But I
But-
feel like it's
But that's just a
different
double
though.
standard. But that might just be another hill we gotta go die on. It's
Yeah.
a lot of double standards when it comes to sex and women.
It showed
So we can't get a threesome with 2 men,
Hell
but
no.
y'all get y'all threesome with 2 women. And I'm just dying on another hill about it. So
in the room and this nigga, he standing up
Yeah.
smacking shit. What the fuck about nigga? See your punk ass, get up out of here. But that's just
But
because I done been
that's a
in
man's
situations.
ego as well. If a man's not confident in himself,
But-
Ain't no ego. I'm fuck you, but you're not about to stand next to me. Fuck that nigga, but
I feel like as a woman, that you have to be very secure in yourself.
to what?
To bring
have
another
a
woman.
threesome, to bring another woman, her
To
body
your
could be better. You don't know what it's like. She can come on and take your man just like bam,
like
gone, poof. He gone.
I'm sorry, I'm just
That's a lot of. You have to have a lot of security. I feel like
Yeah.
to partake in threesomes or swinging or anything, 'cause that just opens a lot of doors to a lot of
Dangerous.
stuff.
Yeah.
I just be thinking like sometimes women, y'all just be, cause y'all be having toy shit together and just be like.
But that's we thinking, ooh, this is cute. Not, ooh, I want to see you in
like
it.
y'all be with y'all girlfriends.
But that's not,
That's
ooh, I
true,
want to
though.
see you in
Y'all
it.
be
Like, girl, look,
y'all
be
be
sliding
lying.
out there. I don't know what y'all talking about, but
Y'all be
I'm
fucking
not trying to be
each other.
insensitive either. But you know what I mean? Like I just be thinking that y'all be in front of each other naked. Like, I don't be
But
No,
that's
that's
how we
your
don't
friend.
see each other in that. We don't see each other in a sexual lens. It's more of a we
That's
have the
mine.
same parts.
Yeah.
Not a ooh. It's just we just have the same parts.
And
It's
we're
not
friends. It's different.
Yeah,
I'm
we
just
don't
bringing
look at
a
each other in a
random
sexual
hoe and
way.
I'm supposed to think of her as in a sexual manner.
So you want to think your friend is like, oh girl, you got a fat butt.
Of course
You
I-
got a fat ass, but
Yeah.
it's not a
like not
ooh,
like
you got a fat ass. I
Let me get
wanna-
some of that. No.
Your friend booty.
Yeah, I do, but it's not like a ooh, I want that on me.
Yeah,
No, it's
like,
like, okay,
yeah.
girl, do your thing.
It's like, ooh, you cute. It's not a
Yeah.
ooh,
It's,
you cute.
you
It's just
cute.
yeah.
So it's a fake physical attraction. That's what
It's not a fake physical
But like,
attraction. It's just
I'm
a-
pretty sure you told James, like, man, you look good. Is that you
No,
saying I want you?
guys don't really do that. That's part of the toxic masculinity.
I forgot.
That's another
I forgot.
conversation. Yeah,
No,
they
conversation
can't tell
about
each other.
that.
Yeah, y'all can't tell each other that y'all look good or
It's
Y'all love each
so
other.
on and so forth.
Nah, I can tell you, but I
That's
just
cool.
ain't gonna say the nigga cute. Like,
Yeah.
I like what you put on. That's
You
cool.
can't.
Okay, that's the same
Could you
thing.
call him handsome?
No.
Could you say you look handsome, James?
I do it when I'm trying to put him on with a girl or something.
But you wouldn't just be like, James, you look handsome. All right.
But I mean,
But we as women, we could be, ooh, girl, you look good, you look sexy. We can hype each other. We can use those words to each
it's a
other.
beautiful
Men just
feminine.
don't.
It's a beautiful feminine thing to see a woman congratulate a woman.
Yeah, that's the best. That's the compliments that make you feel the best when they come from a woman.
You know, from us, our compliment is okay. Then that's right. Now let's go handle this business.
Moving.
You know, y'all's compliment is, I want to be like you when I grow up, or trying to be like
I'm
you.
trying to be like you.
Trying to be like you. That's y'all's
What
best
you doing,
compliment.
trying to
That's
be
y'all
like
got
you?
for each other. That's y'all's
Come
compliment.
on, yeah, nigga, I want the shoes you got on.
Yeah.
Not big color.
What?
You know what I'm saying? But that's as far as I
That's
ain't.
the farthest you could go.
That nigga ugly to me.
Oh well.
That's hard.
I think you look nice, James.
Yes.
Thank you, my baby.
A nice young lady.
Pablo,
No,
I
I'm
love
hurt.
being mean to
I'm
you for
hurt.
no reason.
I'm toe up and flow up.
You look like
You know what I'm saying?
You look like
But God took his time, don't understand me. I
Did he really?
can't. You know,
He could use a little bit more time, just a little bit.
you hate now. You hate. You good.
Now let's move into some next
You had better.
Weak.
Let's move into some next shit. Did y'all hear about George Zimmerman?
Yes, that mess,
The
that
clown.
foolishness.
So
I
just
got
so
no
y'all don't know, George Zimmerman, he's being sued.
Zimmerman, not Zoomer.
Zimmerman. He is suing Trayvon Martin's parents for $100 million for defamation. And that's just some bullshit to me. That's
It's
like,
wild.
it's mind blowing to me.
You went from wanting to sell the gun to now you want to sue the family. I don't understand.
Well,
He tried to sell that gun.
He did. He auctioned off the gun.
And it's, but now you want to come back and sue the family. I don't understand. But with the case, with defamation, he's going to have the burden of proof. So I don't know if it's going to go to the Supreme Court and all that, but it's a
if it
mess.
does, that's whack.
It's a
It's
mess.
whack.
It's a mess. I don't agree with it. These lawyers are just trying to get some money or keep him in the headlines. It's maybe been, a year since he tried to do the gun, so this name came back up. And it's like out of nowhere you want to sue the parents. I'm not understanding why or what's going on. From the case, you were already known.
Yeah.
But at the time it happened, so who you are and your reputation was out the window the night of the incident. Once it first happened, then the facts came off. He only got off under that law that's in Florida. So if it would have been in another state, the outcome could have been different.
Sure.
And because Trayvon Martin was not here to tell his side of the story, it's another reason you got off. Not because you're not guilty.
That shit.
So-
I mean, just the fact, like, this man killed a young 17-year-old back in 2012. Like, the parents, the families, or his family, they're gonna be live with that for the rest of their lives. Like, they're haunted by that. And we're about to go into 2020. And
And
like,
you done
you,
resurfaced
yeah,
it all
just
up.
resurfaced all back up. Like, they have to go back and relive it, and you suing us, and you killed our child. Like,
And I don't know. And I just feel like
that just shit. That like.
And I just feel like
that-
aside from the case, aside from it all, from the beginning when you called 911 and she told you do not follow him, from there you were wrong. If you would have not followed him, nothing would have happened. So from there, that's the reason that I personally do not like George Zimmerman. You were told not to follow him, and you still did. If you would have listened to her and let real police come and handle it, he was in his own neighborhood, but you didn't know that. If you would have not followed him, none of this would have happened. So for that reason, I don't like you, let alone from the other stuff that happened, that we now know happened with the case. So he's not going to win a case. You're not going to win $100 million.
It's just the fact that just bringing all this shit back up in the news.
Just opening up
getting
that
attention.
wound. Yeah.
It's just like crazy. It's crazy. And then his lawyer said that this man, he suffers from PTSD. He said he's suffering from PTSD and he has received death threats.
Okay, as you should.
But
And Trayvon Martin's dead.
That's what I'm saying. It's like,
Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo for George
lawyer-
Zimmerman.
What PCS? When did he get
I guess they fought. I mean, you did shoot and kill somebody. I mean, you would have PTSD, but boo-hoo for George Zimmerman. Boo-hoo. Poor George Zimmerman that he shot and killed somebody, fought a 17-year-old, he has PTSD.
for real.
Boo-hoo.
I ain't gonna
Trayvon
lie.
Martin's dead. He was in his own neighborhood.
I ain't gonna lie to you. That shit gonna go to court.
I don't think he's gonna win. He better not
It's gonna
win.
go to court,
He better not win.
and
But you know the system always fails itself.
nah, but with this, if
That's gonna be a mess.
if this wins, if he wins, I think that's why they gonna make this go to court to do numbers, just on some media shit.
Yeah.
If this wins, this should let you know, and I feel like this should be like the ultimate slap in the face.
To his parents.
To-
That's the ultimate disrespect to his
But
parents.
to the black culture, to let you know that these motherfuckers don't give a fuck about us.
At all.
At all. And,
At all.
And for this man to feel even comfortable enough to do some shit like that, I honestly feel that if it's gonna go to court, if he wins, that furthermore show the disrespect that the criminal justice system has against black people. And we know it's getting to the point where, let me see, since 2012, since that happened, I don't know if it's the right number, but a lot of
many more
have happened.
That's true.
Many more, and some that aren't even publicized on the news.
Yeah.
And people be like, "Oh, what happened to fuck other cultures? We getting slaughtered." So in this time now, it's a perfect time for them to do it because it's like
all the heat. It's a hot topic right
it's a
now.
hot topic.
Police brutality is a hot topic.
It's been a hot topic for too long.
And it's like for Queen and Slim to come out, and then it's like another preview for another police brutality movie. And it's like, is this a genre or? But it's like for Queen and Slim, and then literally another movie is previewing with police brutality. I can't remember the name of the movie, but it's been dropped on social media, and folks are not.
I think it's being
taking
taken place
it
in
well.
Brooklyn with like the Brooklyn projects and everything.
Oh, 21 Bridges, I watched.
No,
that's
not
Bridges.
Bridges. It's another movie, police
one.
We talking about
brutality. But it was a white cop killed a black man, and then it was a black cop. I think he ended up killing that white cop, or something happened with that situation.
Yeah.
But it's another movie on police
You
brutality.
see how over the years, this shit been going on for 8 years, how much that shit's become a way of life for black people? That shit's embedded in the culture.
Our trauma is
And our trauma is making money. But we over here sitting there on this bullshit. Bitch, stop playing. Y'all shoot one of you motherfuckers. I'm sorry. Edit that part.
But black people are the culture. We are the person that move the
Yeah.
money. We are America.
if we knew our power.
If we only
If we
knew,
could not have to buy Gucci, buy Louis, if we could not have to spend our money everywhere else, we could have it. And if we only
we're not the minority anymore. We damn near the majority. And white people is this small.
and like the bus boycott, what got stuff moving? You was hitting them pockets.
Yeah.
So we need to go back to hitting
No
them pockets.
But even back then,
And
we
bring
hitting
some
no pockets.
change.
So white women was still pulling up at 4 a.m.
They was.
getting no black women to
Because they
clean their
needed us.
house.
Because they
Because
needed
first of all,
us.
they had no backbone. They didn't know how to do shit. We did everything.
And they needed us.
They needed us. They still need us. That's why we moved the culture.
But we need to get hit in the pockets. That's what I vote. I vote hit the pockets.
Everybody gonna sacrifice that though.
You
Everybody.
And that's another problem. We can't unify. That's like I said. We can't not have Louis. We can't not have Gucci. We can't do that. Y'all wait in line, bust doors down for Jordans. Fight people for Popeye sandwiches.
Somebody got stabbed.
They already
The
have
article,
beef.
yeah.
They already have beef.
So what you stand
No. He just called him in the Popeye. He called him slipping in the Popeye.
She just called him in the
He
Popeye.
called him slipping in the Popeye. He ain't keeping over the Popeye sandwich.
But he just called him slipping.
Yeah. He just called him black and Popeye.
Chicken.
But that whole Popeye thing, I just really don't like. I don't find it funny or nothing because they was really acting a fool over some chicken. So it was already black people with chicken. Go ahead and throw the Kool-Aid in there at this point. Kool-Aid in the watermelon. Cause y'all acting a fool. Acting a fool. Then got the workers stressed out.
The workers
Wait,
were fighting
quit.
shit.
Them niggas was taking shit and selling it. What you talking
It's
about?
not funny.
The workers
That
were
Popeye
fighting
sandwich
each other. The
was-
workers were fighting the customers and shit.
And the real kicker, Black Twitter is what got it pop. Like,
I'm telling you,
What
we
Twitter?
moved the culture.
Popeyes made that tweet. It blew up with Black Twitter because it's always Popeyes better than Chick-fil-A and all the little jokes and puns.
But we moved the culture.
Yes, that's a fact.
Fun fact, during that Popeye's chicken run, South America was on fire. And then nobody talked about that.
Is that the seven?
Then the oxygen level fucked up around. Nobody talked about. I think that's the reason.
And they got Popeyes got millions of dollars of free advertisement because of Twitter, because of Black Twitter, all the jokes and memes that came along with it.
But distress doesn't sell unless she's black. We're not gonna care about other countries because they're in distress, but they're not us.
Yeah.
They're a minority. They're a different ethnic group, but they're not us. We're not gonna give a fuck. America's not gonna give a fuck.
Yeah, America cares about
They don't
America.
affect us.
Yeah, it doesn't
America
affect us.
doesn't
It's
care
sad
about
to say,
America.
but like I said, black people move the culture. They don't even care about us, and we're in distress.
That shit
If we
ain't gonna
get shot, if our air levels go down, but it's sad to say.
That's crazy. 400 years of slavery is 2020.
Yeah. But granted, it's 400 years, but we only maybe 2-3 generations out of slavery. That's the wild ass part.
Shit, civil rights movement just ended.
That's what I'm saying.
Ruby Bridge is still alive. So
It's crazy.
it's not as long ago as people make it seem. It's really not. So
Yikes.
I'm sad
Why you sad, bro?
because we got so much power.
and we don't know. I feel like we don't know. I feel like we really don't understand or know the power that we have, and it's sad to see. But
The one problem, I'll tell you what the real problem is. We don't come together as a collective. Like
definitely.
the Jews, the Italians, the Asians, the Indians, like black people. Here's one thing. I think somebody told me. Black people don't trust each other. They don't trust each other in business.
No, but that goes back
Yeah,
to
slavery.
slavery. On the boats, we was fighting each other because this person might got more food than I am. So why am I less worthy of
House
this food?
nigga.
Like,
I never understood the house nigga.
oh, the one that worked in the house.
Worked in the house because they never tell the story. In my opinion, I really feel like if motherfucking shoot me for to it. I really feel like it was house slaves who actually helped other slaves escape. But they paint this narrative of a house slave being white skinned or lighter complexion, lighter hue, and kissing ass.
And I definitely don't think it's that way because I definitely feel like this food is too cold, hot coffee in your face, getting spit on, all of that. I definitely don't think it was no walk in the park for them
It
either.
wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
And it wasn't nearly as many as them as those that were in the field or, you wasn't getting baked, but I don't feel like it was a walk in the park for them either. And I just feel like, once again, it's many ways that we were separated or we just see each other differently. And some people have been sellouts in the past and had been cooning in the past. So it's where can you really place your trust? Because you never know. All skin folk ain't kin folk. All
Y'all kinfolk ain't skinfolk. I mean, skinfolk ain't skinfolk.
But it's just like, but I definitely feel we don't unify like we need to. And we don't, I just feel like we don't understand the power that we have, the power that we hold.
Or we do, but we just decide to do stupid shit because we want to follow trends.
I don't think so. We are the trendsetters.
We are the trendsetters, but we
don't profit off our
trends.
No.
We don't.
I don't know. I just think black people, we need to really begin to love ourselves more. Love all of our blackness. I think that's another thing as well.
Ooh,
But we're not that far out of slavery and all of the negative, and everything about us was negative in that time, and we're not too far away from it. We're not too far away from going from afros, but then everybody wanted to perm their hair.
And now it's coming back around.
Yeah, and it's like, so we're not too far away from all the negative things about our blackness to love ourselves.
Right.
But I
think we definitely need to get to that as well.
But I think our generation specifically is bringing that back. Us loving who we are. Because when we still have our grandparents and our parents who are still stuck in this white European way.
Yeah.
Like, you have to look perfect all the time. Your hair can't be nappy. It can't be an afro.
Do something
Why
with your
you
hair.
don't have earrings in your ear? Like, we're still stuck in that. But I think our generation is bringing back us being black. Real black.
Definitely.
Loving our blackness.
Yeah.
All of our blackness.
Yeah,
Every
it's bringing it back, and then it's those who still trying to put ignorance into it.
Yeah.
Well, that's always gonna happen.
Yeah, so it's a fight.
That's gonna be a constant factor.
It's a fight. I ain't got time for it though. I mean, I love my people.
Yeah. I love my people. We fun. I have a good time,
I be cracking up on
We
that.
do need help, but we have a good time anytime we get together. So we funny. We make jokes about everything to a fault, but everything is a joke and it's funny. Everything's a joke. Black Twitter is the best thing that's out there. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. At night, be in my bed cackling. Be in my bed
Cackling.
going. Cause they just funny. Like, if folks just come up with this off the dome, like how? But yeah, we gotta get it together. We definitely gotta get it together.
Somebody fell and I laughed.
Oh, I laugh at people too. So
That's
That's not right though.
I laugh at
It'd be
people.
funny. It'd thinking
I'm
about
that person.
crazy shit. I'm thinking like, ooh, what if I just kick this motherfucker?
Oh no, that's too far. That's
No, when I drive though, I'd be like, oh, if I would just hit this person, they would have been worth like 1,000
You
points.
really
Like,
can't drive, though.
I can drive, baby. I ain't got no tickets, nothing on my name. Don't do it.
That's why the grace of God. But
Don't do
just
it.
you
No,
can't.
not. Catch me on the road, zooming in my Audi.
She started.
Oh, that's
Let's get into some. Let's get into the next shit. Now I know Bravo,
What?
Nipsey, Hustle.
That man ain't never gonna rest in peace.
Talk about it.
What's up, Oakland?
And
I'm saying,
Oh,
I
shit.
wasn't being disrespectful. I was.
see, that's the thing what black people do, okay? They throw out their other hoods. We not gangbanging on states, okay? We are all one as family. We all African at the end of the day.
Okay. all right.
I
Ain't
want to
that
know where
right?
I'm from.
Sister.
Yeah.
Got something right here too. Nah, but Nipsey, what happened? So Whack 100 been getting a lot of flack from Nipsey because he got his own opinions about certain stuff, which is understandable on different things. But Whack 100 was asked by TMZ if Nipsey was a hip hop legend, and he pretty much said, I don't want to put words like he said no, but he was just like, well, what made him a hip hop legend?
I think he would have been one in the making, but his time was cut short.
And that's
He
pretty
didn't
much.
get to, I feel like he didn't get to do all that he wanted to do, reach all that, reach all the people he would have reached. His time was cut short, unfortunately. And I hate that it happened to him, how it happened. It still don't make no sense. I still don't understand. But his time was cut very short, unfortunately. And I think he would have been one to make it. He was starting to, get his popularity and his brand and him and Lauren and he was having it all and they just
He a hood legend for sure.
definitely. Like first people in LA, definitely.
For sure. But the hip hop legend thing, I feel like the only reason why people are so sensitive about it is because they sensitive about him and like how he
Because it is still fresh.
It is still fresh, and then but at the same token though, I feel like from him dying, that's how we made him a hip hop legend. From him dying, from listening to his music, from bumping and shit, from doing this and doing that. So I feel where he's coming from. I just don't like how like now, like it's but like the black community, like we just like certain shit, you just tear certain shit down. Just because it's a trending thing. Like he is who he is, which is important, but I feel like they turned repping Nipsey and his whole situation into a fad and a trend because it was like the popular thing to do. And I feel like that's not right.
It's not.
That's not right. Because the next thing you know, I've met so many people who all of a sudden were Crips and who knew Crips or were Crips and they knew him.
Do you feel that he's a hip hop legend? Would you agree with that statement?
Because of his death, yeah. What he did in the hood that carried on, what he did in the hood and all he did for the hood, which he carried on to his music, I feel like, and with hip hop, it's about the hood, about what's going on, about what's happening in the world, and that's what makes it so influential is because we can put a situation of a song or what we're going through and put a spotlight on it and give the world something like, man, this is how it is to be this, or just how artists like Pac or like Big or like Jay-Z, for example, can rap about a situation and put a national spotlight on it. And I feel like when he passed, and you listen to him talking about how we need to do Bitcoin and how you need to buy your hood back and how you need to do this, and then for him to go out there to show you like I'm actually living what I'm rapping about, and have such a strong influence, I feel like that's what his death is what got to put him in there. So I take he's a hip hop legend, but I understand why Wack said what he said.
I feel it. I mean, personally, I don't know if he's a hip hop legend. I think maybe if he was on this earth I don't think he was a hip. He was only because, like you said, his time was cut short. I'm basing it solely off music. Like you said, maybe like for the hood, and just like all his activism and everything he did for the community, I would definitely say he's a legend.
Mm-hmm.
But if we just talk about hip hop, I don't think he's a legend. I don't think he's. I think people take that like when Mac Miller died, even though he was in hip hop, everybody was like, Mac Miller's a legend. Mac Miller is a legend. XXX, Triple X, he's a legend.
Yeah.
Only because their time was cut short. So it's like.
But the influence that they had, though.
Yeah.
But every artist has an influence.
Yeah.
But not
Artists
like
have
that.
influence.
They have influence, but not like that, though. We
In
talking
regards
about-
to who?
In regards in terms of like when Nipsey, even when Mac Miller died, I was like, what the fuck? Like, damn, like that was a shocking thing. And then listening to his music, I kind of became somewhat of a fan of Mac Miller. Like,
Yeah, but is he a legend though? Is he a hip hop? Is he ranked up against Biggie, Pac, Hov,
Diddy.
Diddy, Rakim? Like,
Let me ask you this question:
Mhm.
If Big and Pac didn't have that beef,
Would they be legends?
would they?
Yes,
be
their music was definitely big back in the day.
But it was only big because of
Could
what?
it be?
Because of the beef.
I don't know what's it.
I
You know what I'm
think,
saying? Because how many songs really that Biggie had?
yeah, that's the thing. He only.
Versus
But it's for our generation, for us to be 21. We weren't alive when Big and Pop, they
Yeah.
passed when we was babies or not even born yet.
Right.
But for us, as our generation, to know who they are, love their music, love them, I feel like that's.
But I also think it's because they came from two different sides of
The country.
the country. Like you have a California influence and you have a New York influence. So it's global. It's now global because
But
it's hitting
Pac
everybody.
was, and they were kind of about two different things. Tupac was black people getting together and unity and all of that, and Big was selling drugs. I'm selling drugs to get my family together,
Yeah.
rapping about his testimony, his life. And Pop came from a revolutionary side of,
The Black
you know,
Panthers.
the revolutionary
So
side of
it
things. So I
hit
feel like they were two different
people.
things as well.
And it hit two different audiences. So that's why when they came together, that's why people can say they're legends because they hit people in different ways.
Also, though, I mean, they've been dead for almost 20 plus years now, and they
Yeah.
still like unreleased. They release unreleased tracks of them, make movies, everything. I would say if Nipsey in like the next 10, 15 to 20 years, if we still talking about Nipsey, he's a hip hop.
But I think he
we
definitely
are.
will
I think we
be
are.
once Lauren and his brother finish what they're
They're
doing
doing,
around
yeah.
that store.
Yeah.
That's when it's going to be. We're going to see his impact and all that he bought, and I think once they get that done, that'll put him up there. But
Yeah.
right now, I would say he was wanting to make it. But once
Yeah,
they
right.
finish what they're doing, that's going to be
It's gonna be
that's going to be good.
I think needless to say, the marathon continues. Rest in peace.
Yes, definitely.
Rest in peace.
Definitely.
The marathon continues. Rest in peace.
That's the motto, a way of life, honestly.
Yeah. I want to say, well, let's wrap it up then. It's your boy Jay Will. Thank y'all for tuning in to King Talk. Thank you to the lovely queens. We have
Thank
Queen
you.
Talk in the building. MK, Deja Sharice, my boy Rollo. What's up, man?
What's happening?
Yes.
It was a long time.
Ignorant shit.
I appreciate y'all.
It was
Welcome to the
it was
show.
great.
Right.
Thank
you
shout
for
to
having
Reese.
us.
Oh wait, hey, Camilla Harris dropped out the race.
She did,
She
but
did.
but maybe she's trying to be vice president. She's trying to partner
What?
up.
What?
Because maybe she just, I'm not going to. She saw that, I'm not going to make it all the way. So maybe she's going to try to partner with Joe.
With
to be
Joe?
vice president.
She might be
Joe.
the
Joe?
She might.
With Joe?
She might settle for vice president though.
But when you gonna partner with Joe?
Oh,
Joe
Will
is
Smith
people.
president.
People don't fuck with her.
Will
She
Smith
might-
president. Or Kanye.
no, definitely not.
2024?
Definitely not.
2024. Michelle 2024.
Michelle's
Once turn. sis.
Michelle probably tired of these folks. Y'all don't talk about her babies. Y'all don't talk about her husband. She fed up with y'all. Y'all do too much. Michelle don't like y'all. Don't like them. Because they don't talk about her babies, her daughter, all of that.
They
Y'all
dog.
stressed her husband out. His head white. She tired. And she want to enjoy her man while her kids is grown. Michelle don't want that. and I don't want it for Michelle.
Mm.
She done wrote this book, make this book into a movie, or do what y'all need to do. Get a Netflix special, get y'all coin, and enjoy it. She don't want to be a backup in that White House. She tired. She fed up, and I'm fed up, and I ain't done nothing. But went to school.
Trump has the biggest campaign out the whole presidential race.
But he got the most money probably.
Blacks are voting for him.
Yeah.
You're voting for him.
Who?
I said, are you voting?
They know.
I
He did not have the black
know.
vote. He did not have the black vote.
I have my
I think he
own
did.
personal things.
He did not have
Would
the
you
black vote.
He's getting it. Put it like that.
I told you.
He's
I'm not
buying
voting for him.
him. That's fine.
I know, but he's not. He don't. I don't think he got as many supporters as he has for.
You know this song? I want Andrew. What's the name? Andrew Wayne.
I don't know. I fed up with these people.
Let's try. Let's try. Again, thank y'all for tuning in. This has been King Talk Podcast.
Feel me?
With Queen
I
Talk.
like to sleep.
We'll see y'all again very soon. Peace out.
Y'all